On President Trump directly in a new TV ad and on a campaign swing through Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan called the Trump Broken Promises Tour. Started in Pittsburgh, and that's where I sat down with her at a restaurant called The Porch at Schenley for the second part of this edition of Politicians and the Pastry Plate.
On the issue of immigration, the president's again teasing these raids. He won't call them raids, but roundups of those who have gotten final deportation orders. It's this weekend, he says it will happen.
Absolutely unconscionable. Well, first of all, we don't know who the target of his raids are going to be. We don't know if these are DACA kids, dreamers who came here through no fault of their own, with their parents who are now serving in our military or going to college or working in our communities. He is indiscriminate. He also doesn't want to protect the men and women in our military who might have a family member who's undocumented. There's always been a view that you will not disturb the family of a service member because they're fighting for our country and they're sacrificing everything, but not under President Trump. So I'm very concerned about who he's going to round up, who he's going to send away, and what basis he has. We used to believe in asylum in this country. Under President Trump, 7 children have died in his custody. Dozens of children have still not been reunited with his parents. I can't believe the stories and the things I've seen with my own eyes. Children behind cages with no clean clothes, no soap, no baths, no medicine, no opportunity to even lay down because they're on a concrete slab. It's wrong. It's morally wrong, and it infuriates me. And as president, I would do it all very differently.
There's been a lot of conversation around political history, personal history of candidates, Joe Biden, the former vice president, among them, and you've taken some criticism as well. Your positions have evolved on some of these issues. What is your perspective or belief on how a politician can grow or evolve in a job? What have you taken away from what happened to Joe Biden?
Well, it shouldn't be so hard to apologize, first of all. But I've changed my views on guns and immigration 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when I became a senator for the state of New York, I recognized that I needed to represent everybody. And I learned pretty quickly that my experience and my perspective needed to change. I think we need a president who has the humility to recognize when they're wrong, who has the wisdom to listen to his or her constituents, to feel and understand what's going on in their lives, and then have the courage to change your view and lead from there. That is what I have done for the past 10 years. So I know my record is strong, and I think we deserve a president who's strong enough and courageous enough to recognize when you're wrong and then lead. And that's such a difference between Trump. Trump is so arrogant, he's so self-centered, he would never admit that he's wrong, ever. And he would never have the humility to change his view and grow and learn and listen. And that's why he's such a weak president.
Who comprises the Gillibrand constituency now? I'm curious how much that's evolved as well over the course of this campaign. You started out focusing on women in particular. Now you're looking at working class parts of this country as well. Is there a core constituency? How do you identify who voters are who are likely to vote for you?
For me, public service is about listening to everyone, that it doesn't matter who you are or where you live or who you love. You need a voice for you in Washington to go up against special interests that are really harming you and your family. I think for most people, health care as a right is the highest priority because they don't want to die and they don't want their children to be at risk. I think having access to affordable housing, food, shelter, clean air, clean water, these are all basic human rights that I will fight for as president. But I fight for everybody, and that's kind of who I am because I do well in all areas of New York. I represent the red places, the purple places, and the blue places well. My first House district was 2-1 Republican. I won it twice, the second time with a 24-point margin, and I've never lost those 10 counties since. In fact, in my last election for Senate, I won back 18 counties that went for Trump. And my vote percentage in my state, highest of any politician ever, higher than President Obama, Hillary Clinton, any person who's ever run for Senate or governor, ever. And it's because I represent everyone.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.